Alright, this is math. So this is math for 1.1 homework. This is just your little review. First is write algebraic expression for each verbal expression. I'm going to write 2, and then we'll go over them. Okay, so I have 2 here. One is a little bit more simpler than the other. We're going to start up here with y minus 12. Your key word here is going to be minus. That means that you're going to subtract. So it's going to be y subtracted by 12. Or 12 subtracted by y. So you're going to write it just like this. And of course, circle our answer. Okay, for 2 we have 8 minus the product of 9 and r. Minus, that means that we're going to subtract, and product is multiplication. So let's start with our multiplication here. This, you would multiply 9 and r. So that would get you 9r. And then 8 minus, you're just going to subtract 8 from that. So it's going to get you 8 minus 9r. Okay? Alright, the next is write a verbal expression for each algebraic expression. I'm going to write 2, and then we'll go over it. Actually, I'm just going to write 1 at a time. Alright, so our first one is number 7. It's 12x. So this would be the product of 12 and some number. Now, how did I get the answer of the product of 12 and some number? Well, because 12 is your base number, and product is multiplication, and if there's no symbol between them, then that means that it's going to be a multiplication. Or if there's parentheses, that means it's also going to be a multiplication. And then some number is your x, because we don't know what number x is. Okay. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Let's go over the homework for tonight. I'm just going to check my answers, and then I'll check with you guys. Alright, we're going to start on the homework for tonight. Number 1. I'm going to write it down, and then we'll work through it together. Okay, so here we have our problem. So, following PEMDAS, right, we start with parentheses. Now, we don't have any parentheses here, so we can check that off. Exponents. Once again, we don't have anything here, so we can check that off. Multiplication and division from left to right. So, starting here, we have 4 divided by 2, which, that gets you 2, so it's going to be 6 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, pretty straightforward here. Then I'm just going to combine 6 and 2, because then you go, that was all the multiplication and division that we had, and then we have addition and subtraction from left to right. 6 plus 2 is the first one that we have here, and that's going to get you 8. And then bring down that 3. 8 plus 3 gets you 11. So really for this first one, all you gotta do is just break it down step by step. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Right, here we have number 2. We have our PEMDAS written out, right? Anytime that you have PEMDAS and you can write it as just writing it, just make sure that you get all your steps down, unless you know that you can do it in your head. Right? So we have 80 minus, in parentheses, 4 minus 1 to the second power. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look, do I have any parentheses? I do. Is there any action going on inside those parentheses? Yes, there's subtraction. So I'm going to start by doing that. So 4 minus 1 is pretty simple. I'm going to keep it in parentheses. So now I have 80 minus 3 in parentheses to the second power. Okay. Now, do I have any exponents? I do. I have 3 in parentheses to the second power, which is 9. And then I'm just going to bring that 80 down. So now I have 80 minus 9, which is 71. Okay. So once again, you're just kind of working step by step down the line till you get it. Alright, I'm going to skip to questions 5, 6, and 7 because I think those ones will be the hardest. Okay, so here I have question number 5. It says, evaluate each expression for s equals 4 and t minus 8. Show all work. So here up in my key, I just have s equals 4 and t equals 8. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is I need to start to substitute my letters for my numbers. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute it off just so it's easier for me to write, and I'll be right back. Alright, I now have done it. So your s to the second turns to 4 to the second, plus t turns into plus 8, and then your divide by 2 stays the same. There's a better way of writing this, so I'm going to write it over here, and that's what we're going to solve it with. Because essentially, division or fractions are division, essentially. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start by solving my numerator first, which is the top numbers. So, still going with PEMDAS, 4 to the second power, which is 16. I'm going to bring that plus 8 and that divide by 2. Okay, now I have 16 plus 8. Like I said, I finished solving my numerator before I even move on to the denominator. So 16 plus 8 is 24. And I'm keeping that divide by 2. And then 24 divided by 2 is 12. It's pretty easy. I'll do number 6. Okay. This is number 6. I made it easy, and I already changed the numbers to changed the letters to numbers. So it went from 10 times s minus t times s to 10 times 4 minus 8 times 4. Okay? So once again, starting with PEMDAS, my parenthesis, there's no action in it, so I'm just going to start here. 10 times 4 gets me 40. So 10 times 4 is 40. I'm going to bring that down, that minus 8 times 4 here. Okay, then we've got to go 8 times 4, which is 32. So I'm going to bring down that 40, add that subtraction sign, and 32. And 40 minus 32 is going to get me 8. Alright, that's everything for this one. I can keep making these if it helps. Let me know. Always make sure to double check your work with a fancy calculator, apparently. I don't know. But it definitely helps. Using a whiteboard definitely helps. But make sure you show all of your work. Otherwise, you're not going to get those extra points. If there's anything else you need help with,